Hello and welcome to the energy reading for Eclipse season fall 2024. My name is Rachel. I am an emotional and spiritual wellness practitioner. I do energy readings on this channel to tune into the collective energies that are coming up. So I have monthly energy readings. I do Reiki healings on here. I am going to have Reiki healings available for each eclipse. And then I am also hosting a free solar eclipse ceremony at the end of the month. So there's a link in the description if that's something you're interested in. Today we're going to be looking at the collective energies coming up. Eclipse season often corresponds with shifts, changes, faded changes, and so you might already be feeling the impact of that. It can be felt a few weeks prior to the first eclipse. So the first eclipse is the lunar eclipse on the 17th of September. It is at 25 degrees Pisces, and so you're going to want to take a look at where 25 degrees Pisces lands in your chart, which house that's at. So then you can see how it's going to be impacting you specifically. And our solar eclipse is at 10 degrees Libra, October 2nd. And then of course it's a day later if you are in the Eastern Hemisphere. Sorry about any background noise that's coming up. I just heard a loud car drive by, and I'm in a shared kind of workspace, so there are people in the other rooms here probably making some noise. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at the energies that are coming through. So we're going to start with looking at the general shift that the collective is experiencing for this new moon. I have my notes here. That's why I'm looking down. So the general shift of this eclipse season that we are going to be experiencing and probably already are experiencing. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, yeah. I love Ace energy because I love new beginnings, new starts. And this is like, the Pentacles energy is earth energy. And it's the stability, the grounding, our physicality, right? The material world, it can be associated with wealth, material riches as well. And it's like, I feel like for a while now we've been in this this change of our relationship with the material world, because there are so many of us that are waking up spiritually. We're becoming more aware of our energy, of our souls, and how that impacts the material world, our physical reality. And this feels like, wow, so burpy. I burp when I channel energy readings, things like that. So this Ace of Pentacles energy, it does feel like this new relationship with our physical bodies. And it feels like the energy of this like new understanding of like how our reality comes into form. I'd love to pull another card here to get more insight on this Ace of Pentacles for this collective shift that we're experiencing. The Queen of Wands. Yeah, it's very much, the Queen of Wands energy is so powerful and magical for me. It's very much like this understanding of like we create our reality, right? And this new perspective of that, this new kind of ownership of that, of like understanding that our inner world is what comes into form in the world around us, right? And that we have the ability to shift that and change that and mold that into what we want through regulating our emotions, through understanding our emotions, through understanding how we operate with other people, looking at the reflections in our relationships to see like what is being reflected within you into the world around you, right? Because that is how you start to get to know like where you're at. And from that point, you get to then choose how you want to change your experience of reality, right? That's cool. That's such a powerful energy to be coming through of like, we create our reality, like we have control to an extent, right, over our physical experience here. We have control of like what we choose to bring in. Of course, life is going to bring its surprises and challenges here, but like we get to choose how we respond to that and how we work with that, right? That's been a big theme lately. I think that was brought up in the energy reading for September, so very fitting here. So let's take a look at what we are healing. So what are we healing through this eclipse season? The King of Wands. And this is just exciting to me to have both the Queen and the King of Wands here, because it's just such a powerful energy. The King of Wands, it's, you know, the fire of fire. It's very much like this potent, like creative potential energy. It's definitely like, I mean, the Queen as well, like in the suit cards, there's this mastery energy of fire, right? And the Queen is associated with wands, or with water, and it is, the water is, you know, associated with emotions, feelings, love, intuition to a degree, right? That can come in with the swords energy as well, but like it's there in the wands. And this King of Wands energy is, like I said, it's this very potent creative potential that we have, and like it feels like we're healing all of the wounds that have like kept us small, all of the wounds that have told us that we aren't good enough, that we aren't deserving of the life that we want, because those wounds are what keep us from realizing our power, right? Like this is a coming into our power in a new way, and we are healing everything that has prevented us from owning that, acknowledging that, stepping into that. And it can be, you know, it can be associated with your fears of having the power that you actually have, right? Like it can be kind of scary coming into this new understanding of like, I create my reality. There can be like some blame around that, right? Like some blame of yourself and some like guilt and shame that you carry when you start looking at that and working with that reality, with that truth. And it's like, we need to be gentle with ourselves with that, right? Because like, yes, we create our reality, and there have been circumstances that have not been in our control, right? Especially through our childhood and our youth. Like there were things that we could not control that have happened to us, that were happening around us, right? And so now that we are, I'm assuming you're in your adulthood if you're watching this, now that we're in this place of ownership, we can like reparent ourselves and reassess how we want to experience the world, right? Like this is the healing energy coming through, is like healing our wounds around our power. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at what we are releasing. What are we releasing with this eclipse season? Strength. Interesting. This feels like we're releasing, like, it feels like a need to control. It feels like the false power, right? It feels like our ego power, right? Like there can be this force that comes with our ego of wanting to keep us safe, right? Like that is a big part of the role of the ego, is to keep us safe. So make sure to thank your ego today for trying to keep you safe. And then also have a loving conversation with it of how you are capable of taking care of yourself, right? You can make decisions. You're grown. You've had experiences that have taught you so much. and you're capable of taking care of yourself, right? It was like this reparenting energy that I was speaking to, of like coming into our power, taking ownership over our creative potential. And that requires us to acknowledge where we have been forcefully trying to control what happens, right? Because there is this balance between, like, yes, we can create our reality, and we have to know where we're coming from with that, right? Like, if it is from this fear-based place, or this concept of like having these things will make me feel better, right? If you're lacking self-worth and you're trying to force things to happen in your life, whether it's events, circumstances, or it's in relationships, that's not healthy. Quite frankly, trying to force it to happen, but it's a part of the learning process, right? Like, it's a part of what we're here to do. We're not gonna get it perfect all the time. I'm not perfect by any means. It's the learning process. Like we come to see where we have these areas that we're trying to force and control and coerce, and that gives, once we become aware of that situation, we then have the opportunity to look at ourselves and question, why do we want this to happen? Like, why do we not want this to happen? Like, what is going on in our inner world that is causing us to respond or react in the way that we are responding or reacting, right? Like, what's going on within us? Like, what needs have not been met that need to be met to fill this hole, right? This kind of like void within us that is often from childhood, right? Like, our needs not being met in childhood. It definitely, of course, can happen as you are older as well. Like, if you are in relationships with people and your needs aren't met when you're older, it can kind of reinforce this idea that your needs don't matter. Maybe that, like, you need too much. This feels like we are letting go of this need to, like, disregard what's important to us, right? This idea that, like, our ego knows best, right? Like, that letting go of, like, our ego running the show and coming from a more, like, centered, truthful place, right? This freedom from the need to prove something is kind of what I'm picking up on. This freedom from the need to be something that we're not, because we think that that will be best for us, because that's what society has told us, that's what our caretakers told us, that's what our peers told us, wherever it is, we heard that from movies, whatever. Letting go of this idea that, like, we need to be something that we're not in order to, like, receive what we want and to have our needs met, right? It's kind of like people pleasing. It can be hard to spot sometimes. I feel like I am not constantly, but still to this day, like, noticing things that I do or say or don't do or say because I'm trying to fit a mold that I felt like I needed to fit in order to have my needs met, like, growing up, right? And that's very common. So if that's something you're experiencing, that's totally normal. And as always, seek, professional help if that's something that you need help with. Mental health professionals, a psychologist, therapist, psychiatrist, if that's something that you need, right? Like, you know yourself best, you know what you need. I'm a big advocate for taking care of your mental health, right? So let's see, what's our next question we're asking? I want to look at why are these energies coming up, right? Like, what is the purpose of this shift that we're feeling towards our physical reality, our power, coming into our power, healing what has prevented us from doing that, getting in touch with our egos, creating a relationship with our egos. Like, what purpose does all of this serve for us? The Three of Wands. It's expansion. There's so much yellow here in this reading. You know, we have the yellow here, we have the strength yellow, we've got all of the yellow in the King and Queen of Wands, our yellow pentacles, and yellow is associated with consciousness, with awakening, with light energy. And so this Three of Wands energy, like this is our third Wands card, right? And it's like, we have this fire energy. It's this new, maybe it's not even new. It's just tapping into like what is available to us within our like fire energy ourselves, right? Like there is so much new energy that has been coming through like in our ascension process here. You know, energy coming from the earth, energy coming from the heavens, coming into the earth, into us. I say this a lot. If you caught my previous readings, it's a part of what we're experiencing right now. And this is like really tapping into like our fire, right? Like our soul flame within us. And this is like looking at the opportunities for like, how can we bring these energies that are coming up into our own personal lives so that we can work in that expansion energy, right? Like this is about kind of like pushing the boundaries in a way. Like this is pushing the boundaries of like what the expectations have been, seeing past what those expectations have been, like seeing something totally different that like up until this point we probably couldn't have even like thought of, like materialized or created in our minds. Like there is just like, I feel like there are so many solutions to so many problems that like we don't really have access to if we haven't like done the work to go inward. Like I think that we hold within us a lot of healing for the planet, for humanity, for each other, for ourselves. Like we have that within us, but because of like the way that third dimensional reality works, it's kind of clouded from our vision. And so this is like this opening up to like this new vision, right? Some like ideas, ways of being, potential futures that like we haven't thought of yet, like we haven't heard of yet, like because we are just now opening up to be receptive to that, because we have been so steeped in the idea that like we are limited, lack mindset, right? Like fear-based energy, like survival energy, like that is what we have all been just living from as a species for a long time, right? And like it's served a purpose. Like our survival instincts, our need to survive, like serves a purpose for us, right? And now we're being given the choice to do something differently, right? Like how can we feel safe within ourselves and know that we are safe, get grounded in our truth and in our power so that we can step forward into this new like horizon is the word that's coming through, this new like vastness of space that is available to us at this point, right? I love that. Okay, what's next? So how can we support ourselves through this energy, through this eclipse season? How can we support ourselves? The King of Swords. Okay, our third suit card, second king. This is very, I'm just like maybe it seems obvious, but I'm just picking up on like the sharpness of the sword. It's like we have the ability to be very astute, very focused, very clear and particular, specific, when it comes to the energies that we want to bring into our lives, right? That we want to hold within ourselves. And with this new reality that we're stepping into, this new reality that we're creating, because like the reality we create for ourselves is the reality we create for others, for the future, for the new earth that we are collectively molding and bringing into form as we come into this new relationship with our material world and our material aspects of self. This is very much like we need to nurture that, right? Like we need to nurture our mindset, our perspective. We need to take time. If you can't do it every day, it's totally fine and acceptable. But a regular check-in with yourself to know where you're at, to take a look at what kind of thoughts have been running through your head, and if it's hard for you to catch your thoughts, or to have awareness around your thoughts when they're happening, like take a moment to pause and do some journaling about what you've been experiencing lately. Like tune into your emotions, and that can give you a good idea of what kinds of like thoughts and mindset and like the attitude that you have towards life, right? Like the sword energy is its thoughts, its logic, its mindset, and so it's like incorporating that into our life in a healthy way, right? Like not in a way that it like disregards our intuition, disregards like the magic and the power and creativity that we have. Like how can we get those things to work in tandem? And so that takes like some reflection and some working with our mindset, how we use our thinking, right? Like how are we using our minds to benefit us, to help us, to be of service to us, right? Rather than having our minds be our master, which can be challenging if you're just starting out with getting to know yourself a little bit more, if you're just starting out like on the personal development or spiritual development journey, it can be challenging. So definitely if you have the capacity and availability to like check in with yourself regularly throughout the day, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing to bring into your life, because you get to know how you operate a lot better. You get to learn how you respond, and how, and that's again like that's a reflection of what's going on inside of you, right? And then when you are aware of that, you get to change that, right? Okay, I wanted to pull, let me make sure I got everything. Yeah, okay, so I wanted to pull at least one oracle card here. I'll see after I pull this if I feel called to pull another. This is Rebecca Campbell's new deck, the Ancient Stones Oracle. I'm in love with it. I recently got it, and it's just, I love the magic that she brings. So I wanted to see like a general guidance card here from the Ancient Stones. And this energy in this deck is very much connected with ancestors as well, like our ancestral lineage. So that's just a nice thing to be bringing in to this reading as well. It's perfect. Of course it is. The healing stones: tenderness, care, gentleness, nourishment. Yeah, this is like very much taking the time to be gentle with yourself. I think I mentioned that earlier. Like we are all doing our best, whether you think that or not. We just are, because how could we be doing anything differently than our best in this moment? Like we have all the resources that we have in this moment, all the experience we have in this moment, and we use that to the best of our ability, right? And so we need to be understanding with ourselves of where we're at, and like life is challenging. Like the day-to-day of life can be challenging, even if you are like, mentally and emotionally healthy, physically healthy, like we are here on earth to learn, right? This is the planet of major learning, major emotional learning, like learning how to work with others, cooperate with others, and work with ourselves and love ourselves. Like that's not an easy task to take on, especially with like this transformational space that we're in, as a collective. Like it's a lot, it's challenging. So like, do the self-care things that you need to do, right? Not just the self-care of like doing the processing work, but the self-care of like taking a bath, taking some time for you to get your physical needs met, to get the rest that you need. Rest is so underrated and so important. So whatever you can do to bring in some more rest, some tenderness, some care. I am very much feeling like this maternal energy, coming back to this parenting yourself. Like, how can you nurture yourself? How can you care for yourself, right? How can you be there for yourself when you need that? Tuning into the part of you that is nurturing, that is loving, that has the maternal energy, whether, however you identify. We all have maternal energy within us that we can call on. And if you struggle calling on it within yourself, like you have a spiritual support system around you of non-physical, loving, benevolent beings who want to help you and support you. So if you struggle with like tuning into your own maternal energy, like reach out to support in your spirit guides, in your ancestors and angels of the light. Work with them to help bring in this maternal and nurturing energy, to take care of yourself. Okay, I am going to pull another oracle card, a dragon card, to see what kind of dragon energy we have available to us. I love dragons and I really enjoy this deck. It's another new one for me. So let's see like what kind of dragon energy we have to support us in this eclipse season. Okay. Kuan Yin's pink dragon. I feel like there's another one. A couple more. Okay. So 3 popped out. So we have Kuan Yin's pink dragon. Bring firm love that resets your karmic balance. See all your cords dissolved by transcendent love. Enjoy your freedom. Look for the divine around you. This very much speaks to what I was saying about like reaching out for your spiritual support system to bring in the nurture and the care that you need. And it said like brings firm love that resets your karmic balance. Like that is kind of the process that we're in right now. Like this love and like life force energy is available to us, especially with this card coming through in this eclipse season reading. Like this is very available to us, and like our support system, our divine support system, like wants to help us. They want to be there for us and contribute to our process and our journey and support us through that. I know I sometimes struggle with feeling like it's there, and it can be hard to like connect with it when it feels that way. It can be hard to trust that you are supported when it feels like, when you feel like you're alone, right? So it's really important to find ways to connect with your divine support system in a way that like you can start building relationship with it, right? So like what is a practice that you can bring in, or maybe just like an activity that you can do, like a journaling activity or something, to help you connect with that a little bit more with your own spirit guides, your spirit team, right? Okay, so wow, I love these other cards that came through. So we have the green dragon, helps you tune into the secrets of nature, receive answers and guidance from nature, align with your divine essence. This feels in connection with this Ace of Pentacles energy that we had coming through, like connecting to our physical reality, right? Nature, obviously it has a physical aspect, but there is a spiritual aspect there as well, because it is of the divine. It is a part of the cosmic aspects of the universe. Nature is really, really special, and I feel like it's something that we're all being called back to, connecting with the earth, connecting with plants, connecting with, you know, the energy of an ecosystem, of a certain environment, right? Some of us are called to the mountains, some to the ocean, you know, creeks, whatever it is. And even if you live in a very urban area, you can still energetically connect with that. Especially if you like have a pet or a plant, or there's like a little park near you, or even just, you know, in your apartment, in your home, you can sit and meditate on nature. You can find some nature sounds to play as you meditate to connect with nature, because there is so much healing energy. Like, it's been so hot. I live in the Phoenix area and it's just so hot. It's hard to be outside during the summer. So I cannot wait for it to finally cool off so I can just go be in a space of nature and connect with the healing energy that's there, and like the resetting energy. Like this card spoke to like resetting. Like, we can be reset by being in nature. And our final card that came through was the Crystal Yellow Dragon. Opens you to higher learning and wisdom. Expand your crown chakra for illumination. Walk the higher spiritual path. And I love that we had like the yellow dragon come through with all of the yellow we had in our tarot cards that came up. It is this aspect of like bringing in the higher consciousness and like helping to ground that in through like our connection with nature, through the like tenderness and gentleness that we're bringing in, like bringing in the cosmic aspects of ourselves, the universal aspects of ourselves, and grounding them into our physical experience, right? Expand your crown chakra for illumination. Yeah, so like, how can you connect with your crown chakra more? How can you connect with your divinity more? Definitely start reflecting on that. Like, maybe it is going to see a healer, maybe it is through meditation, maybe you use crystals, visualization, practicing energy work, energy clearing. Connecting with Reiki is a powerful way to connect with that as well. Yeah, definitely. I love that. And it's just like, this just feels so beautiful to know that like these are the energies available to us right now, and that we have access to these and we can use them to like help us in our daily life. So I hope this resonated with you. I would love to hear your takeaway in the comments. Again, I do have a free solar eclipse ceremony that I'll be hosting at the end of the month, and there's a link in the description for you to join that if that's something you're interested in. I also have a free Reiki infused centering meditation that is available in the description as well, if you feel called to that. I hope you have a beautiful eclipse season, and I will see you soon.